So how does a large team of people all draw the same character the same way? If you've searched videos on how to animate, they'll probably tell you how one person does it. Today we're going to talk about what it takes to create animation as a team.
To make sure that our collaborators know what to do, I spent a good amount of time doing a single cleaned extreme for each shot, for each character. So there was like really no question what the pose, the main pose that's driving the performance should be. There's an animatic that had the idea laid out clearly, and then I spent a lot of time making character design sheets that address some of the more tricky or less defined rules about the style.
The first thing I do when I get a shot is actually just pull up every single material related to the shot, like the keyframe, all the character turnarounds, the character expressions, and just have those all set up on one screen.
Because every single shot has like a character layout that Josh had to design so that we could all be on model, I would like to actually trace those drawings first. And when I try to draw in my roughs, I flip back and forth between Josh's key drawing and then whatever breakdowns I put in or whatever new keys I put in.
Everything's supposed to exist in a non-Euclidean space, so things that should be round in real life are not in the world of House on the Outlands.
Making something that should have been articulating a three-dimensional object be flattened, like a box that at a certain angle should have 3 visible corners. We would only just flatten so it only had 2.
For me, it was surprisingly intuitive to match the style of the hard angles and the curves that Josh had for the art direction. He also made a really thorough model sheet of how to draw her shoes. There would be so many angles of like, if you're having to draw the knee bending from the front, just make it like a flat square.
Sometimes when the character changes poses, you're going to get more flat lines where there weren't before, and a struggle is trying to get those to transition in without being jarring. Harmony's bangs face a certain way, and they always face that way regardless of which way she's looking. I have not done many of those myself, but you have to hide a frame in there where her hair kind of changes directions. It's like the Simpsons, front-facing Simpsons characters always look terrifying. Some characters just look better at certain angles.
The shot of one of the pigmen who's just about to eat Zola, I did the close-up shot of the mouth, and when Josh gave it to me, his only direction was, can you make this as gross as possible? So I really made the spit in that really thick, and like I tried to really describe the motion. I think on like the top left of the mouth or something, there's a piece of spit that kind of splits off. When I sent it to Josh, he was so happy with it. He was like, look at this, you did so good. It's so gross. Once I get the thumbs up from like Josh.
Even if my roughs are relatively clean, once all the motion is feeling right, I'll usually go through with one last pass and do the best that I can to preserve line weights, and I'll usually use a different brush than I use for the rough. And once I've gotten all that in there, it feels better to say, okay, it's done.
So we're gonna shamelessly plug merch while taking the time to thank Josh, Rayna, and Adam for sharing their thoughts with us. From art direction, creating style guides, and handing files around like hot potatoes, there's a lot that happens to make every shot a House on the Outlands shot. Make sure to catch all the episodes of House on the Outlands here on Make Originals.